Miriam is my guest, and we're going to have an awesome interview with her. So please, guys, make sure you share it out. I know Miriam. I met her, I believe, through the FYP. I know her now for, I don't know, like 6 months, and she's awesome. She's let me see if I get this right. She's a soap. I don't know what order, but she's a soap extraordinaire. She's a Reiki master. She's a psychic, and she's a medium. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. Or a minister. I
And a
missed.
minister, yeah.
Ah, and a minister. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
So, welcome in, Miriam. This is now
Thank
take
you.
three. Three times is a charm. Welcome in, Ruby. And so let's get started. Talk to me a little bit about your the beginnings of time, about you, your upbringing, where you were born, and that to break the ice, I guess.
Sure. Yeah, I was born in Detroit, and I lived in Michigan until I was around 7. Thank you. My father had passed away when I was very young, and then my mom remarried, and we moved out to Massachusetts because he worked in computers, and this is like, the hub of technology and all that stuff. So we moved out to Massachusetts, and I, was raised hashtag Boston Strong, and
So
just
you're really not a masshole. You're a wannabe masshole. I'm joking.
no, I am. I lived there most of my life. I was very young when we moved, and I adapted very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a Michigander really,
Okay. Have you
because
been
I
to
was I
Michigan?
was
Have you been there after you know?
yeah, my whole family lived there, so I'd go back to visit all the time and stuff. But so I have a very strong like family roots and family ties. Especially my family is small. My grandparents Holocaust survivors, so having that family unit has always been very, very important. Having the strength in building our numbers back up has always been very important. And my family on my mom's side, most of it, the extended family, is not blood family. So when folks when folks moved to the United States, it was my family's from Greece. So when the Holocaust refugees moved to the United States, they all built a family together. So all of my mom's aunts, uncles, and cousins weren't actually blood related. So I have an extended family, but they're not like family.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
And you still keep in touch with them?
Yeah. Yep. But the family's grown a lot, so it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So they're scattered throughout the U.S., mainly up north.
Yeah. Most people are still in the Detroit area.
Okay.
Like my mom was raised in Detroit, and my dad, so they met each other in Detroit, and that's where I was born. But my dad's side of the family mainly stayed in the Detroit area as well. So we came out here. I don't have any family in New England, so
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
That must have been well. You were very small. What age did you do? Did you say you moved to Massachusetts?
Like I turned 7 like 2 days after we moved here.
Okay. So
So
was
I
it
was
much of a culture shock? I mean, I'm sure that the beginning was hard,
Oh,
right?
it was.
It was.
It was
Okay.
a huge
Okay.
culture shock
Okay.
because there wasn't the internet. Like I didn't know anything about Boston, Massachusetts, and all that stuff. So I was raised in this little bubble, and where I was growing up, there was a large Jewish population. And when I moved out to Massachusetts, it was like 49% Irish Catholic and 49% WASP. Like there wasn't very
Wow.
much variety. I was one of the very few Jewish kids.
Wow.
Hey,
You look amazing. Oh my God, I love it. Love the
thank you.
popcorn. So let's talk a little bit about, again, for those of you who just joined, Miriam does a lot of different things. She's, a content creator, but she is a soap maker or a handcrafter. She's a Reiki master. She's a psychic, a medium, and a minister. So, of course, what came first, the chicken or the egg? No, what came first? Soap making, Reiki, your psychic ability. So talk to me about like what got you started.
Sure. So my psychic ability started when I was very young. As I mentioned, my father did pass when I was 2, and he used to come to visit me, and so I've always had a strong psychic connection. So the mediumships, and thank you guys. I'm so sorry. I can barely see the comments because I'm on my tablet. So if I'm missing anything, just let me know. Thank you for the gifts and for everyone coming in. So my mediumship started when I was very young, and the psychic reading started when I was around 14. I was at summer camp, and one of the camp counselors was a witch, and he sort of took me under his wings, and I started learning palmistry, and then I started learning other forms of divination as I got older. The soap making started around 6 years ago, so that's definitely a newer modality. The Reiki started, I forget how many years ago, but Reiki was a journey as well. I've always been a healer, so I've always done energy healing, but Reiki is a specific modality. So I got attuned as a Reiki master 2 years ago.
Wow. And you have a full-time job, and you have a husband, and you have a child. So
Yeah.
you do it all, man. I don't know how you do it, but and you look completely sane. You're not losing it like
Looks
me.
can be deceiving. I have a basket full of meds over here.
Oh my goodness, you and me both. Where was there a specific moment? And I know that you've mentioned this before, and you've gotten a little bit more in depth about your intuitive gifts. I remember you saying something about when you were 13 or 14 years old, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so like, talk to me about like, so that experience. Was it a shock to you? Were you nervous? Like, had you experienced that before? Who did you talk to about it? Because imagine as a teenager, I could only imagine that you were probably shocked. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I mean, so I've always had a very strong connection with God. And so I would have these incredible experiences in synagogue, where I just felt like this incredible strength and connection with God and with spirit. And so with the divination, it just seemed natural because, like I said, of this connection with my father and other people who have passed. Um, so it didn't really come as a surprise in so much as a wow, hey, this is really cool. So that camp counselor that I was telling you about, he really educated me a lot, and it just seemed to really fit, like it made sense,
Right.
But yeah, the earlier stuff with the mediumship, yeah, it freaked me the hell out because I didn't know there was no Long Island Medium on TV back then, right? This was the 80s. This was, nobody was talking about this type of thing. I didn't feel like I could go to my parents. It was, um, it was just, it was really scary. Even though it was my father, I'd be like, nope, nope, go away.
Right, right. Because imagine, I could only imagine that back then there was a stigma around it, right? So, which now I'm gonna perfect segue to ask you: how did your upbringing shape your beliefs about the life after death, or spiritual communication?
Um, so it's kind of interesting because, um, my my grandparents and family, like from Greece, like very old world superstitions. I found out that my grandmother's best friend, who my mom, referred to as an aunt, used to do coffee ground readings. So they used to read coffee grounds, my nonna and her friend, which I didn't find out till later, but there was always like a very strong spiritual connection. Um, One interesting thing that sort of had me questioning my faith a little bit was when I was in confirmation class when I was 15, having a conversation with the rabbi, and he was like, well, in Judaism, when you're expired and that's it. But that hadn't been my experience. So I was like, wait a minute, there's something's amiss here. So I really started questioning my faith a lot and things like that. And that's when I started kind of branching into more sort of other forms of spirituality, even though I've always been strongly Jewish.
Right, right. And so, um, so because I know, and I don't know, we didn't have time to talk about this. I know that you have all these different avenues that you're creating. Is that the kind of like where you're looking to grow and scale your business, the psychic? I know that you said you wanted to open up a brick and mortar, so I'm just curious. And I know that that's not part of the questions, but
Yeah,
only
no,
because
that's
we've
fine.
talked about this before.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get further with the psychic business, or I should say with the healing, because that encompasses everything that I do with the psychic, the medium, and the Reiki. Because at the end of the day, that's why I do what I do. Like I'm not doing it for the money. I'm a healer. I want to help people, and doing psychic and mediumship readings, I've I've had people had such wonderful breakthroughs and such healing from these messages that they've received. And the Reiki is, a form of energy healing, and that helps as well. So, but at the end of the day, right, there's no overhead. Versus, as you know, with making products, when you're sitting on products, you're sitting on a lot of money. So I'm not going to stop doing it. It's still a passion of mine, and I still want to get out there. But I feel like the psychic business is going to take me a little bit further until I can get to the point where I can open my own place.
And I think a lot of in this time and age, this day and age, a lot of people need healing. A lot of people need healing. So
Yeah.
I think you would do excellent with that. No, you don't have to apologize, Auntie Cindy. Let me just read a couple of comments because I know that you said that you can't see with your phone.
Yeah,
So your
please.
friend Carly's here. She says that you're right on when you read. I guess when you read to her,
Oh, thank you.
parts, and she says that it's healing. Auntie Cindy's here. Patty's here. Pinky Dinky's here. Shakori. I don't know if you could see any of the comments. Ruby's here. So we got 12 people. That's awesome. Thank you guys for being here and for your
Yes, thank
support,
you.
guys. So now let's combine your soap and spiritual connection, because I know that you said that you're kind of like focusing more on the spiritual, but I know that you also make soaps that are that you infuse them with special, I guess, for lack of better words, I don't know if it's ointments or talk to me more about that because you know more than
Sure.
I do about it. Yeah.
Sure. So Reiki energy, I'll give like a very, very brief explanation of it because not everybody knows what Reiki is. So Reiki is basically it's an ancient Japanese healing modality. A lot of people think of laying of the hands and things like that. So it's taking the universal life energy that flows through all of us and just harnessing it, manipulating it and harnessing it in a certain way so that it pinpoints the areas where you need healing. So you can do Reiki on people, you can do Reiki on animals, you can do Reiki on objects. So all of my products are infused with Reiki. So all of my products have that Reiki healing property infused in them.
That's really good to know. I did not know that you can do Reiki on animals.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I may
Yep.
want to talk to you about that because of my dog, my lab. Um, that's good to know. So, guys, so not only does she do Reiki on humans, she does Reiki on animals, and you said also inanimate objects as well.
Yeah.
Like, give me an example, like of an inanimate object that you would want to do Reiki on.
I know it sounds really silly, but sometimes like if my printer's not working, then I will send Reiki energy to it and it will start working. And again,
Yeah.
I know that sounds ridiculous,
What?
but
Damn.
yeah, it is. It does. I know it
I'm not.
sounds.
I'm shocked. Like I wouldn't even have thought of inanimate object when you were saying. I was trying to think, well, like what type, but that would make sense. Like a printer, a computer, whatever. That's pretty cool. My mom had a friend who practiced Reiki when I was a kid. I did Reiki on my daughter who has who has now it's healing. I have a friend who is a Reiki master. So a lot of people, okay, so you guys are familiar with it. Honestly, I'll be honest. I guess I'm probably the exception. I didn't really know much. I've heard the term, but I really didn't know much about it until I met Miriam and obviously gotten to know her more. So what does a day in your life look like, to balance, your everything that you're doing, like I said before, all of these different compartments and stay sane.
So ADHD helps with that. Doing 100 things at once.
Yeah,
So that does help. As you know, like my brain's always going, I'm always thinking, I'm always doing, like I always have a project, I always have
right.
something. So I can't, it's hard for me to have downtime. Like if I stop, then I just fall asleep. That's why I can't sit down and watch TV because I'll just fall asleep. Because my brain's like, oh, we're not doing anything, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
I can't.
so
I can't have downtime.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I get my daughter ready for school while I'm listening to Ruby. I get my daughter ready for school. I make my coffee and my breakfast, and I have a little offering cup that I put coffee on my ancestor altar.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so I do that, and then depending on what I have going on, I usually have a lot of doctors and medical appointments in the morning, and then I start work. While I'm working, depending on how busy it is, I get a lot of other stuff done too at the same time. So I might be designing labels. I might be, doing this, that, and the other thing. I know downtime. What's that? And so on my lunch break. So in the mornings, on my lunch breaks, and after work is when I get stuff done for my business. And then on the weekends, I do readings. Every night, most nights, I should say, at 9:30, I come on here. I do readings. I do Reiki. I pull cards. I have an education night. Like I do all kinds of stuff on TikTok as well. So
Well,
I'm
I'm gonna
just kind of
and I want you mentioned something about your family and your ritual, which I want to talk about next. But I'm like, okay, because last week I talked about devoting some time for me. So when does Miriam have some me time? Because then none of that sounded like you had some me time. Do you give yourself me time?
um sometimes on my lunch break I do take a break. I do like I consider my evenings like after work and before bed. I do when I'm listening to Gen Xers live and stuff like that. A lot of times I'm just like eating dinner, chatting with my friends on TikTok, hanging out, that type of thing. So I do take some me time when needed. I'll go shopping. To me, like I love shopping. That's a me time. So sometimes early in the morning, if it's like school vacation week and we don't have to get up early, I'll lay in bed for a couple hours before I get up for work. And so
That's awesome.
I do
So
take some time.
I do want to talk. The other day you mentioned something about a ritual that you do every morning. Is it every day, every morning, seven, like every day?
Yeah, every day.
So talk to me about that. None of that's this question. How has the healing, the family wounds, honoring your ancestry impacted your connection to your spirit? So talk to me about that. Where does that come from?
Um, yeah, so generational trauma is definitely a thing. Um, I might sort of sound flippantly mention like, oh, my grandparents are Holocaust survivors. Um, the trauma from that is deep and it's real. Sorry.
Okay,
And
take
the
your time.
anti-Semitism that is so rampant right now keeps that trauma alive. So I do what I can. Um, I sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Um,
I'm working with my ancestor altar and talking to my ancestors and working on healing myself and being active in the online Jewish community does help, but it is hard. It's very, very scary right now. It's very scary right now.
yeah, the comments, everyone's saying, obviously big hugs. No need to be sorry. You are real. We are all here. We are all here for you, babe. Says
Thank
Pinky
you.
Pinky. Everybody showing you support. I'm so sorry, Miriam. And by the way, guys, I just because some people probably don't know the questions that I asked, she's already seen. In fact, this is a question that she wanted me to bring up. So, um, don't think that I'm being insensitive. Just saying.
No, no, not at
No, no,
all.
not you, not you. I don't want them to think, oh wow, Liz asked something that tweaked the nerve, and she.
Yeah.
But of course, talking about it, obviously, it does bring that up, and I wish I could freaking hug you. So do you feel that by doing that ritual, that has helped you? And like, explain to me a little bit. I'm curious, really, genuinely,
Yeah.
to know about the ritual. Like what do you feel like a spiritual connection while you're doing the ritual? Like, what exactly does that entail?
Yeah, so I have an altar in my living room. I have pictures of my relatives who have passed. I have objects from them. Um, I have like my Nona's Turkish coffee cup set. I have that, and that's what I leave a little offering in every morning because I know all of them like loved coffee, and I could just as easily be leaving offers of like alcohol or food or something like that. But it's just it's like waking up together.
Yeah. Do you do that every morning, like when you wake up in the morning?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have to apologize. Take your time.
I know trauma response, always apologizing. um, yeah, every morning I brew my coffee. I get my coffee cup. I get that little coffee cup. I make my breakfast, which we all know is the English muffins with peanut butter and strawberries every day.
And Dunkin', because Miriam runs on Dunkin'.
That's true, and sometimes Dunkin'. I got my Dunkies today. Um, yeah, and we just, I sometimes I light a candle that I have over there, and I just say good morning to everybody.
Oh, Connecticut's Open Candle says, remember that day when you were doing it and the ray of light was on you. You were on live. I don't know if you want to share that. And Stephanie says no apologies needed. And Ruby says,
Yeah,
I'm so glad you're sharing all of this with us, Miriam, and she sends you a heart.
thank
This is
you.
awesome, and Carly's saying to CT's Open Candles, I remember that. So I don't know if you want to share that experience. Most of these questions I know are more geared towards the soap, which is weird because I did enter all the other stuff, but I know that that's not the main focus, which I'll talk about the soap, but I know
Yeah,
that.
we'll talk about that too. It's fine. So yeah, I go live in here, but some mornings I'll go live out in the living room, and I have a big window with a big stained glass and my plants, in front of it. So it's a real pretty backdrop. And I was, having my live, doing my thing, and like just this ray of light just came down, and it was like, oh, and it was really
Wow.
cool and really beautiful.
JS Soaps is here too. Wow. Was that recent? I missed that one. I definitely
It was in the last few months. I don't remember. I have like the worst time blindness. I have like no sense of time.
wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your let's talk about spiritualism. Do you feel your dad's presence, like all the time, mostly insert when, or like I don't know, like for me, I don't really feel my brother's presence, but sometimes, with angel numbers and stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, so thank you so much. So just talk to me about it because I know you have more an inner connection, right? Because you're a medium, and
Yeah. So, it was months ago. My dad is, he's by my side all the time. And a lot of times, if I get reading, like, I do get readings from other people. It's kind of hard to read yourself. It's kind of like I liken it to like a dentist can't do dentistry on themselves.
right, right, right.
So usually, whenever I get a reading, he does come through. So yeah, I talk to him a lot. He helps bring people forward when I'm doing readings and things like that.
Let's see. I'm trying to see because the questions are really in an order that I should have I should have fixed this. What's the most unexpected message that you've ever received from the spirit?
Um, the the most unexpected experience I had, I was actually in this office and I was doing mediumship on TikTok. I don't really do that as much anymore, but I used to do it a lot. and I was reading this woman. Don't know her from, from Paul. And all of a sudden, the genie from Aladdin flew into my room. And I was like, what the
What?
hell?
Wait. Hold on a second. Wait, rewind here. The genie from Aladdin.
It was Robin Williams. He came through as the genie from Aladdin, and then he materialized as himself. And he was really goofy at first, but then he got really. So she has a connection with him. And she was suffering from very drastic mental health issues. And so he came through with messages for her.
Wow.
And it was the weirdest, coolest thing. And I'm like, I know I sound crazy when I say it, but
Ruby says, I just got chills. Evie was like, what? Question mark, exclamation point. Evie's like her eyes.
yeah,
I mean, I'm like you guys. I'm in shock right now. And
it
the
was
way you're
great.
saying
And
so,
she
like,
has a tattoo.
calmly.
She had a tattoo of him. And I had like, how would I know that? I didn't even know what she looked like because she was just in the comments. I wasn't even talking to her like this. So it was crazy. I was like, what is happening? So
That's
yeah,
insane.
he was very, very sweet and very funny. Like he came in, I think to break the ice, he was doing like, you know how he's really like he can be really silly and he's like, "Buh, buh, 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 buh."
Yeah,
He was kind of like that at first, but then he got really like serious and was like, hey, like you need to take care of yourself. Like you need to work on this, that, and that. And it was really cool.
I would love to meet Robin Williams, even if it's in spirit, man.
Yeah.
He's an awesome, amazing person. Gone too fast. This is kind of a similar thing, but through the soap, though. Have you ever read someone's energy through the soaps they gravitate towards? So, like, if somebody's interested in a specific soap, have you ever been able to read any energy out of like that particular choice of soap?
I think it's more intuition, especially at like a vendor show or something like that. If somebody approaches the table, I can generally read what their interest is, like gauge what their interest would be, and sort of like steer them towards that product line, kind of, be like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, I think you'd be interested in this, yeah.
And the next question, I don't know if you saw it when I sent it to you, but listen, here it is. Can you do a quick energy read on me right now, or should I be afraid? Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I'm surprised you didn't say don't ask that question, but I'm going to ask it because it's in the question. So,
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be afraid. Yeah, I mean, so this morning, I can tell you were trying to have a calm morning, but it was a little more hectic than you wanted for it to be, a little more stressful. But I think overall you had a pretty good morning. Were your dogs acting up this morning?
no, not this morning.
Okay, this afternoon maybe, but yeah, I'm just saying like you very much like trying to have a calm morning and just kind of
Yeah.
have everything be settled and be ready and just kind of like, okay, I hope everything's going okay. Hope everything goes okay. And,
Yeah, like after yesterday, real quick, because I don't want to do the spotlight on me, the spotlight on you. But this morning, I basically had a conversation with my husband about yesterday's live, and we kind of were reminiscing. I gave him a hug, and I said, "I'm glad that you're still standing after all the stuff that my mother's done to you." So, but that maybe that's what you're like. That was the only thing that I can
right.
talk about this morning because everything else was thankfully good. So, all right. So, what advice do you have for someone who just started their spiritual or creative journey? So, let's talk about that for the people who are interested in going down that path. Welcome in, Kelly Michael.
My advice is to find a mentor or mentors, and just really vet the people that you learn from. There's a lot of people walking around spreading misinformation, and I think that's true in a lot of different, areas and things like that. But yeah, just find a really good mentor. Read some books, but the mentor can recommend which books to read. Don't be taken in by cults of personality because there's a lot of cults of personality out there in the spiritual community. So just remain true to yourself and what your practice is.
I talked a little bit about it this morning, says Ruby. Yeah, so I mean, I kind of want to delve deeper. And honestly, unless you tell me that you want any specific questions here, these are a lot towards the soap, but I kind of want to get more out of your spiritual, the Reiki. I mean, the things that you really want to highlight. I mean, the soap is amazing too. I mean, it asks, what do you create custom blends, soap blends for specific chakras? Talk if you want to talk a little bit about the soap and where they could find it. That's great. But I feel like because especially that you're trying to gear towards more of the spiritual side. I really want you to talk about it because there's a lot of myths that I want you to debunk and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, we can do both. I'm open to talking about the soap business because it does tie in. Like my tagline for my business is heal your body and soul.
Mhm.
So like I said, everything is Reiki infused. I do spend a lot of time investigating ingredients, doing research, doing formulations, having certain things in mind when I'm making products, certain people in mind. Um, I do custom orders as well. Um, so yeah, a lot goes into it, and I do have a lot of spiritual products. Like I do make a lot of soaps that are geared towards like more spiritual things.
Right.
Like I make goddesses and cauldrons with crystals, and I make, and then other things like we just made the Pride soaps for the Trevor project, and so my products do have a lot of purpose. I just made a whole skincare line for the face, hair care line. So, oh, thank you, Carly.
Yeah, Carly,
So
your cleansing soap for spiritual helps so much.
yeah, and so people do a lot of times when they're doing spiritual work, will do ritual bathing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you can use the products for ritual bathing. Um, I do make other products. I also make witch balls. I make anointing oils. I make spell jars. I make protective sprays.
Stephanie is asking where can she find your merch. So talk to me. I think you can. Could she mention website or maybe not the .coms, but or say just go ahead. I know
Yeah,
you're
so it's my business name .com. It's Miriam's Wellspring. It's also linked in my bio. So it's Miriam's Wellspring. Dot.
Good question.
What is a witch ball? I can show you witch balls if you like.
Go ahead. And while you go at it, Ruby, I did see her make one live. It takes hours just to make one. She has the patience of a saint because honestly, I don't know how she does it. It really is like very intricate stuff.
Yeah, it does take a lot of effort.
I have never mastered meditation until I came into your live. I felt the light travel through my body. That's registered Gen X. Wow.
Wow.
Wow, Miriam.
Thank you.
I think that's your purpose, girl. That's where your strength is. I'm not saying
Yes.
that obviously you have everything else too, but I think all of us have like a strength somewhere, and I believe
Yes.
that is your strength. Look
These
at
are
this.
witch balls.
Yeah.
They
So
all have different purposes. So these are pre-made ones that I bring to events, but if you order one, I do make them custom intuitively. So Spirit will lead me towards what to do for each one. So basically what it does is protects from negative energies and entities, and then it will imbue the space with a positive intention. So it could be for love, for prosperity, for inner strength, those types of things.
I love it. Look, I feel Miriam. This is it. This is maybe this was meant to because I think this live we're focusing on what really I think you'll shine on this and talk to me about. I know I'm bouncing all over the place because I really want to put the focus on this. What times for those of the people in the chat that don't know what times you do these spiritual healings? What time could they find you and talk about if they could book with you outside of the app as well?
Sure. Let me just sit down real quick because your girl's broken.
Yeah.
I have
Welcome
I have
everybody
a
along. We have 17 amazing people, Miriam, here rooting for you. Thank you so much for the heart, me.
thank
Thanks
you.
for being here.
Thank you. Sorry, my studio's a little messy. I just had an event. So yes, so most nights at 9:30 Eastern, I do come on here. I have a schedule. Mondays usually subby readings, although I'm going to be doing them tonight because I went to bed early last night because my daughter went on a trip to DC with her school without me.
Oh,
So I had to be up early. So I'll be doing subby readings tonight, but usually Monday is subscriber reading. So free readings for all subscribers. Tuesday is guided meditation. Wednesday, now I'm going to forget the schedule. Wednesday, I think, is general card pulls. Thursday is an educational night. Friday is a hangout. And then if I happen to go live on the weekends, it's usually hangout. But like a lot of times we'll kind of do a combination of things. So if I do a 20-minute guided meditation, then I might pull some cards afterwards, things like that.
Mary Colon says she's on her way to subscribe to you.
Oh, thank you so
That's
much.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for the support. Hold on.
Thank
I got this
you.
one. Hold on, because of course I don't have my effects on. Oh, those are not it. That's not it.
Yay. Doo, 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 doo.
All right, there we go.
Thank you. So yeah, you come in tonight and you'll get a reading tonight. So, but yeah, I do make other things. Like I have these spiritual sprays. So I have Witch's Ward, which is a protection spray. I have Seer's Gateway, which is to help increase your
Register to next that she'll be subscribing to, girl.
awesome. Thank you. So Seer's Gateway is to increase your
This
psychic
is it. You're
connection.
shining. You see, Ruby, I wish we need to talk after because you always tell me this, and I feel like what you saw in me when I talk about certain things, you're in your element right now. I swear, like I could feel it. Like you sound so right? Am I right, guys? Like she's in her element right now.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So yeah, so talk to me about that. Like you were saying that you were showing the witch balls, and basically every night you do a different type of meditation. You do the card pulls, and then Fridays is just a typical night. Now, are you planning to go live on the weekends too?
I do frequently. So I do sometimes do random lives. Like
Right.
sometimes I go live in the mornings, sometimes I go live in the afternoons. I can't, it's unpredictable for me because, like I said, I often have like appointments or things going on.
Yeah,
On the weekends, I have been going live in the evenings and stuff, sometimes a little earlier. So the weekends, I don't have a set time, but I have been finding myself going live in the evenings on the weekend as well.
that's awesome. So let's see. Let's talk a little bit. I know that we're bouncing, but the Reiki part, and I could obviously share my experience too. But what's the most powerful experience you've had during a Reiki session? And of course, it says here you don't have to mention any names if it needs to be confidential. Just give me the experience part of it.
Sure. So I do in-person Reiki, but I also do distance Reiki. So we don't actually have to be in the same room. Thank you for the gifts. We don't actually have to be in the same room. I can send energy, like I can connect with your energy and work it that way. Um, so there was a friend actually from TikTok that I did a full body Reiki session, which you guys can book through my site for Reiki as well. So I did a full body Reiki session and it released so much hidden, I guess, baggage, for lack of a better term. Like it brought all of these things to surface that she's been needing to work on. A lot of things with her relationship with her husband, with her relationship with her children. So in just me doing the Reiki, because it's physical healing, but it's also spiritual and emotional healing. So the energy goes to where you need it most. So while I was focusing on her hips, it was also helping to bring up and work through all of these things. Like it's not unusual to have people fall asleep or cry or do any sort of, release during a Reiki session.
So I'm curious. And Ruby says that she's done. You've done it for her when she had, I guess, a pain in her shoulder blade. I remember that day, and you did it. And you did it. The day that I was making the pain cream as well on my lower back. How do you prepare yourself? So this question, I kind of want to break it apart. How do you prepare yourself before you do a psychic reading or a Reiki session? And I want to add, I'm sure there's days that you're probably not in the mood for whatever reason. How do you pull yourself out of it, knowing that you need to now help heal somebody else? Like, how do you do it? What can I know
So
about? Thank you.
there's something called the Reiki prayer that I say before I start doing Reiki and before I start doing any readings, and it instantly grounds and connects me with spirit. So I just say the Reiki prayer to myself. It's I invoke the light of God within. I'm a clear and perfect channel. I am light and I am love. And my hands are tingling now, but I instantly feel grounded and connected with spirit. And then when I do a readings, I say I call on my spirit guides, angels, and ancestors to be with me, and then connect with, say I'm doing your reading, connect with Liz's spirit guides, angels, and ancestors to help provide clarity and information.
Carly says, I don't know if I missed anything earlier. If you activate my hands again,
Oh,
I'm not sure. Do you know what she means by that? I don't know if I missed the comment before that.
she could have been saying that my saying that like activated her healing abilities.
Oh, I see. Okay. Do you believe that everyone has an intuitive ability?
Absolutely. We're all intuitive people. I mean, we use intuition all day, every day. So everybody is psychic. It's just a matter of how much you want to harness that. And
This
I
is
I liken it to going to the gym, right? Like we all have bodies, we can all do things, but if you're going to the gym and you're working out and you're working those muscles and targeting certain areas of your body, they're going to be
oh,
stronger. And it's like that with being psychic. We all have intuition, we all have empathy. We all have the ability to read people, to read situations. Like you walk into a store, you can feel someone's energy. You can feel, should I buy that product? Should I not buy that product? You have an intuition as to what you should be doing. That's psychic. That's all that is. So it's just taking that and like working those muscles.
I love the way you explained it. That makes sense, right? Everybody has intuition, but some people, like you said, everybody has a body, but some people work at it more than others on the body. Um, Now, because okay, so to me, I guess also spiritual, right? So there's the intuition, there's spiritual, then there's a medium. Now, that part there, is it something you're born with, or is that something also that you learn as well?
So that's slightly more difficult because we all have it. It's just some people are born with stronger connection and abilities, and other people have to work a lot harder at it. So yeah, I'm a medium, but I look at, I definitely have imposter syndrome though. Like I watch other mediums and they're like, oh, they're so good. And like, I'm not that good. And then people are like, what are you talking about? You're amazing. And so, but getting to that vibrational plane to do a mediumship connection is totally different than a psychic connection. Like I have to fully charge up and then open that. And because I don't walk around open to spirit all the time. Like I would go crazy. I open the door
Yeah,
and then I shut the door.
got it.
So I'm not walking around seeing spirits all the time. Like people find out a medium, they're like, "Oh, is my mom here?" And I'm like, I'm not connected right now. I'll get back to you on that.
That's
Um,
good that you say that, because I guess a lot of people are not aware of how that works. I really, I'm learning more obviously through you and stuff because and it is interesting. I probably was one of those people back that thought, that you probably just have the ability of connecting at any point in time, not that you actually had to, like you said, open that door and shut it as well as again.
well, that's a way to keep yourself protected and safe and sane. And that's why when you were asking about if people want to connect, how should they go about it? And that's why I said find a mentor and find a mentor who you can trust.
Right.
Because there's been a lot of people who do have connection and they are like going crazy because they're like, I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things. I'm like, you have the ability to set boundaries with spirit. You can say, I don't want you to come to me when I'm falling asleep or in my sleep. You can say, I don't want for you to sit on the edge of my bed. You can say, you can set boundaries with
Oh
spirit.
wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever? I know this is not in here, but just curious now. Have you ever encountered with, like, somebody wants you to connect with, someone from the afterlife, a bad like spirit, like a bad connection, like a scare, like bad. When I say bad, I mean like, kind of scary, that kind of bad.
I don't really get scared because I know that they really can't hurt me.
Okay.
But so there's the concepts of heaven and hell, and my understanding and interpretation of it is that we're all on different vibrational planes. So we're here on earth, and then when we pass, we rise and rise and rise towards what people would say is heaven, right? This is, we ascend.
Yeah.
If you are somebody who has done horrible things, you descend and you go into a very low vibrational, very lonely, very dark space. And it's much harder to reach those people, but you can. It just takes a lot more work to do it. And I have done it because people need healing. People, oh, beautiful. Thank you.
God, thank you so
That
much.
was gorgeous.
Thank you. I
Because,
appreciate it.
people have incurred trauma and they want to heal from that trauma. And so maybe sometimes talking to their abusive father or something like that, thank you, helps
Yeah.
provide some of the healing that they need. And sometimes just knowing that that person is in that space is providing the healing that that person needs.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Let's see.
But I mean, I do get the heebie-jeebies. I'm not gonna lie. Like, um, I don't do paranormal investigations. I don't purposefully go into like severely haunted spaces because I don't want I don't want to deal with that unless I'm going in for a specific reason, say to help a spirit, or cleared I have cleared negative entities out of spaces. So like my daughter's dance studio, she doesn't dance anymore, but when she was, had a very negative entity in it. And it took me a couple times, but I went and I cleared it out.
Oh wow. So
Yes, and I
how
do
does
I
that?
do cleanse spaces.
You do that? You do
Yes.
cleansing homes? That's good to know. See, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, and I can do it remotely too. Like I have a really cool story. One of my friends, she was like, "There's something dark in my home," and I always ask permission. Like that's the other thing. I ask for permission. I'm not going to read you without your permission. I'm not going to read. If you ask me, "Hey, can you go read my sister?" I'm not going to read your sister because I don't have permission. I can
Right.
read about your connection with your sister and maybe what she thinks of you and things like that. So
Yeah.
so I'm not going to just show up in your house, you know what I mean? But if you invite me to, if you want me to, I can. So I astral traveled to her place and I did a scan. Now I didn't know what her place looked like, but I was describing a room and I
Yeah.
was like, over in this corner is where the darkness is. And that's where now I know you know about the situation I had a couple years ago. Well, that's where the suitcase was that she brought with her on this trip. So she had not emptied her suitcase from this trip, where we had some very unfortunate things happen. So she went through and she emptied the suitcase and she cleansed everything, and then
Wow.
everything was better. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That's That's insane, man. I'm surprised that like you don't. I guess I guess when you have that connection, you don't get scared. Like that would freak me out. But I guess when you have that power, that connection, you're
Well, you have to know what you're doing. Like I've been a witch for 30 years.
yeah,
And I know people hear that term and there's a connotation with it.
right,
But for me, all witchcraft is it's a practice, and it's working with nature, it's working with natural forces.
Well, there are. Trust me, I know. There are people that do not use it for a good cause.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so how, and talk to me about that. I mean, is there like that, such a thing as good witchcraft, or I don't know if that's what you call it, good witchcraft, bad witchcraft, like how, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's your standard normal witchcraft, which is it's a lot of like praying, really. I mean, it's manifesting, it's praying, it's using physical things to. So like I'm auditioning for this role to be in a film, so I wrote down what I wanted on a piece of paper, and you fold it towards yourself to bring something to you, or you fold it away from you to get something away from you. So I folded it towards myself, and I make a prosperity anointing oil. So I put some of that anointing oil on it to help increase my chances of getting this role. It's things like that. Yes, there is baneful magic, which is you can harness these powers for negative things. And I've had things thrown my way. I don't do baneful magic. I don't poo-poo people who do, because sometimes it's necessary, but I do protective magic. So, doing something like an egg cleanse. So eggs absorb negative energy. So you take an egg and you hold it in your hands, and then you rub it over your body, a raw egg in the shell. I should specify you're not like slathering egg on yourself. And you rub it on your body, and then you break it into a glass, and then you can interpret what it looks like in the glass. And if somebody has been sending you bad energy, bad juju, evil eye, whatever you want to call it, then you can return to sender if you want to. You can put a bunch of yucky stuff in there. You can put hot sauce in there. You can put, all things in there, and then you flush it down the toilet, and it goes back to them. There's
By the way, we did that, Miriam and I.
well, I didn't know if you wanted me to share.
I don't care. I don't care. I did it.
Yeah.
I needed to know. But
There's a freezer spell. If you want to freeze somebody out of your life, if they're causing harm, you write their name and information on a piece of paper. You might say a little something, and then you put it in a bag or a jar with some water, and you put it in the freezer, and that will help freeze them out of your life. It's things like that. That's what witchcraft is. It's just enhanced prayer, basically.
Yeah. But I love the fact that how you glossed over this big thing that you have going on that I totally did not ask in the questions about the freaking role. I mean, I don't know if you don't want to talk about it because you don't want to jinx it, but I think you should talk about it, because I think you
Yeah,
do.
I can talk about it. So
Yeah.
there's a major film being produced right now called Tony. It's about the life of Anthony Bourdain. And somebody sent me a Boston casting. They do all the casting for movies that take place in Boston, which, is pretty frequently. And they're looking for a real tarot reader between the ages of 45 and 65 in the New England area. And so I sent them an email with my information and my picture, and then they responded with step 2, which they wanted me to send them a video saying my experiences with doing readings, my name, my height, all that stuff. And so I sent it to them. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Imagine she gets the part. That would be so cool. Is it a big part in the movie?
probably not. It's like one day of shooting, so it's probably fairly minor. It's like $1,200 for a day of shooting, but like, how cool would that be? And you know who's in the movie? Antonio Banderas. I don't know if I'd get to meet him or anything, but
Antonio Banderas is in the movie. Wait, is this movie being filmed in Boston?
on the South Shore, like south of Boston, yeah.
Oh, nice. That is so cool. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's so exciting.
I'm really excited. I'm really
When do
hopeful.
when do you find out when you get that
I have
role?
no idea.
I'm saying
Um,
when, because you're gonna get it, but
Yeah, so they downloaded my audition video yesterday. Like I got a notification that they downloaded it. So
manifest
they
it,
probably have a lot.
manifest it.
Yeah, they probably have a lot of them to go through. So I'm not sure when I would hear back, if I hear back, but I'm gonna hear back.
Yes, you are gonna hear back. It's not if it's gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. I think you got this, girl. Maybe this is a sign that you're going down the right path. So anybody have any questions, guys? Well, I'm trying to, I know I skipped some questions. I don't know if you want me to circle back to anything. Mostly I skipped the stuff on the soap. Again, she is a handcrafter. She does make all kinds of products, not only soap. And you can definitely find, she does have a website linked in, you have it in your bio, right?
I do, yeah. And I actually have most of my products on the table here because I was doing like product photography recently.
So go ahead, show them. That's fine.
Yeah, so we can talk a little bit about it if you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Go
do
right ahead.
have, like I said, I have a full face line. So I have I have a face soap. This is made with turmeric infused oil. It has pureed carrot in it and activated charcoal and lemongrass essential oil. I have a face lotion. This also has turmeric infused oil in it. I have a serum. This has rosehip oil, squalene, vitamin E, and lemongrass essential oil. And the stuff is so good. I actually used it today to help myself look human since I wasn't feeling great. But this interview has really helped me feel really a lot better. I have an exfoliating face mask, and it's got activated charcoal in it. This is one I've been taking samples out of. That's why it looks lower.
Yeah.
I have toner with vitamin C and caffeine in it, and Liz has been talking about the caffeine. Oh, that's beautiful.
You have somebody saying that Jess is around, says love lemongrass. Yeah, she makes a lot of products that are with essential oil. She has a whole shelf of essential oils. She works with a lot with essential oils. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're
I just
fine.
wanted you to see that comment that Jess is around. I've never seen you before, so welcome in. And so she does. She's a handcrafter. So go ahead, keep going. Show me the stuff. Show me the goods.
No, you're fine. And I think that's it for the face stuff. Oh, I also have micellar water. I think that's it for the face stuff. I do sell a beard oil, talking about face. I do make a shaving cream. I make body shaving cream and face shaving cream. I make lotions. Liz does amazing body butters. I do lotions, which they're kind of similar things, but the body butter's like a thicker version of lotion, so it's what your preference is. So I do make lotions, and I make, oh my god, so many things. Deodorants. I make dish soap. I make a pain salve.
Mary says to show the sprays again.
Oh, sure. So I have Seer's Gateway, and this is to help increase your intuition and psychic abilities. I have Witch's Ward, and this is a protection spray. And then I have Moon Dance, and this is for working with different moon cycles.
Oh, wow.
So they're room and linen sprays, so you can spray them around your room. You can spray them in linens, things like that.
Stephanie's asking, do you have anything for hair loss?
So I do make, not specifically, I'm going to be formulating a hair serum, but I make hair products. I make a shampoo bar, a conditioner bar, and a cream conditioner. I don't have anything specifically for hair loss, but I am going to be formulating a serum that should be helpful with that. But I don't know if you do, Liz. Do you make like a hair oil or something?
I don't. I don't even know. I've never delved into that. No, I don't at the moment being.
Moon water, Mary. Thank you for mentioning moon water. That's another thing I forgot to mention.
Yes.
All of my products that contain water are made with moon water, which is you put water out to charge under the full moon. So all of my soaps are made with moon water. My lotions are made with moon water. Anything with water is made with moon water.
Now, is it distilled water that like for instance,
Yeah.
if I have a gallon of distilled water, I just take the gallon and put it outside? Do I have to keep it in the open, in a bowl or something? Does it need to?
No, you can put it outside. You can put it in a window wherever you're going to get the moon energy on it.
And I'm obviously, because I'm clueless about this, what exactly does that do for you? What's the difference between the distilled water being here as opposed if I put it under the full moon?
So think about the power that the moon has over water. And so we're 70% water?
Mhm.
And so the moon has a lot of pull and power over us because of its connections to water. So it basically, a regular normal full moon is going to just help to energize the water with positive energy. Now,
Okay.
you can, if you want to do some more baneful stuff, you can leave water. You can collect storm water. This is getting back to witchcraft more than making products. You can collect storm water and do things with storm water and things like that. But I just use positive energy, positive water.
Right. Now, do you create, just curious, and do you create any custom soap blends or specific chakras for emotional needs? And do you also create, if somebody wanted to place a custom order with you, do you do custom or not? Because I know some creators don't do custom.
I do custom. So you can reach out to me if you want to. For instance, I don't do a ton of patchouli stuff just because my husband cannot stand the smell of patchouli and he does sleep down where my studio is.
High five to your husband.
Yeah, but I do have a friend who loves patchouli, and so she's placing a custom order for some soaps and some sugar scrubs and things like that.
Nice.
So I do custom orders. Pretty much any of my products I have right now. I'm working with an account for a cosplay company, and so they're ordering a full line of products, but we're starting with custom deodorants because, cosplay nerds be stinky when you're in costumes all day, things like that.
Yeah.
So I love patchouli too, but patchouli's a love or hate. I find you love it or you hate it. There's not a lot of middle ground with patchouli, and that's fine. Everyone has their own lilac. I can't stand lilac, but other people love it.
Yeah, I'm picky, I guess. I have a very sensitive nose. Anybody have any questions, Miriam? Anything that you want to add to that? We've been on for over an hour. I don't have a hard stop. Like I said, I can go on as long as you want. I just want to make sure that you because we've done this now, guys. For those of you who don't know, I did interview her months ago, and then tried to do an update interview, and just TikTok was being really difficult that day. So that interview, just nobody really could hear anything. So I wanted to definitely bring her back. So I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything.
Oh, Mary Cologne just said you should write a book. It's really interesting that you bring that up because I do have a book in mind I want to write about my family story. So bringing it back to like family and spirituality and things like that. I do want to write my family story on my mom's side, specifically my Nona story, my grandmother's story of strength and perseverance through everything that they went through, and how that helped shape me as a person, and how I view life and family. So that's something I'd like to write. And I really need to start writing it while my mom and my uncles uncle, one of them passed away. So my mom and my uncle are still alive because they know the story better than I do. They're parents.
Stephanie's saying, "Do you know the Miriam on Book Face?"
So I do have a Book of Faces account. Miriam Ora, O-R-A is the last name. I also have a Miriam's Wellspring.
Yeah, so she is on. Do you have a link tree where they could see all of your socials or no? Okay, so
Yep.
so what you do, guys, is you click on her bio on the link there, and it'll show all of the socials. 'Cause I believe you're on Instagram as well, right? So
Yep.
talk to me. You're on Instagram. You're on the Tube.
I'm not on the tube yet,
Okay,
but I would like to be.
so the Gram, the Book of Faces, obviously
Oh,
here.
a different Miriam. Oh, are you talking about Miriam on TikTok, the one that shares what her life is like as an Orthodox Jew? The one that wears like wigs and stuff like that? Is that who you're talking about? I forgot her screen name.
Oh, I think I've seen her. If I know what she's talking about.
Yeah, I do follow her. I do follow a lot of Jewish creators, which is it's good and bad because it keeps me connected with my community, but then the anti-Semitism rampant in the comments is not fun. But what are you gonna do?
Unreal, unreal.
Yeah.
So what would you say? So anything that I missed, if somebody wants to book a session with you, they can find it on the link tree, right? If somebody wants to order any products or custom products, they would connect with you. I guess there is that the best place. I guess, and those of you those of you that are subs could connect to you through you on Discord, I guess, or I don't know if you want to talk about your Discord, promote it there for subs. What are the benefits of being a sub? Since we're gonna
Yeah. I'm not as active on my Discord as I should be. So the benefits of being a sub is you get a free reading, you get a discount code towards any products that you want to order, you get entered in a monthly giveaway. And I'm just totally blanking as to what the rest of them are.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of really good bennies to being a sub.
Okay. And I think you don't have to be live, right? For anybody that wants to be a sub, right? They could just click on your
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I think so.
Let's see. I missed the beginning. Tamara's saying, "Oh man," but that's okay, Tamara, because this time it was not glitch talk, and I will download it. Let me knock on wood. Everything has been so far so good. Anything you want to add, Miriam? That I pretty much asked you all the questions. Is there anything that I missed that you want to add?
I can't really think of anything. We did cover a lot. I feel like I'm so multifaceted as a person that I feel like there's just so much that I can't think of what we haven't covered. Do you do classes? So I haven't in a while, but I do teach soap making classes, virtual soap making classes, which I can add. If people have an interest, I can add them again. I do cold process levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And then I also have a melt and pour class that I do. I would like to do like Reiki, you kind of have to teach in person because you have to do the attunements and stuff. But I was thinking of doing like some psychic and medium classes online, which you could do as well.
Definitely. That's very interesting. You do tarot reading, right?
I do tarot reading. I do oracle. I do tarot. I use a lot of different divination tools.
And then I have a couple more questions for you. So, okay, Mary said about the classes, but then Tamara was like, and I guess she's referring to the subs again. So she missed the beginning about how to get the benefits of what she just talked about, which I believe was the subs when she came in. So I don't know if you want to repeat it again, Miriam, the benefits to becoming a sub.
Sure. So benefits to becoming, and it's all listed when you go to sub, but the ones that I can remember off the top of my head, because my head be flaky. You get free readings once a week. You get a discount code for ordering off of my website for products. You get entered into a monthly giveaway. And I think there's some other perks. I just can't remember what they are.
Awesome. And then they could catch you every night, Monday through Friday. You go live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. How long
Yes.
are you usually on? Because you weren't on at 10:30 yesterday, right?
No, last night I wasn't on because I had to be up so early this morning.
Okay.
But usually I'm on for about an hour. Depends on when things kick in and I get really sleepy.
Let's see. Hello, loves. Oh my gosh, Tasha's here. It's always more reading, says Carly. It's always more reading. And then Tamara says, awesome. Thanks, Miriam.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody have any questions? Again, this was amazing. I love it. Um, Basically, for those of you who just came in, Miriam is a handcrafter. She makes soap and more, a lot of different products. She also is a Reiki master. She is a psychic, a medium, and a minister. We really didn't talk about anything about the ministry. Are you still practicing that? Okay.
Yeah, so the minister thing is basically like I'm ordained through the Universal Life Church, so I do mostly life cycle events, weddings and hand fastings. I have done baby namings. I do house blessings. I have yet to do a funeral, but I think I'd be really good at it. I just need to figure out like how to get my name out there to do it.
Yeah, she is all amazingness. So Carly
Oh,
really,
thank you.
you
But that
got.
actually is my favorite job is the minister doing the weddings.
So oh my gosh, just asked, can you repeat the online interview? There's a reason, there's a purpose for my madness. So I do download the interview. Of course, I'm going to edit certain pauses and stuff like that. But for the most part, everything that was said will, with Miriam's permission, will be downloaded and uploaded on the tube. So follow me there. You guys can find my tube on my link in bio. Let's see. So anybody else have any questions, guys? Come on, chat. No questions. Again, she does so many different things. She's a psychic. She's a medium. And they could book a session, one-on-one session with you for the medium part, right, as well.
Yep. So I do for psychic, I do mini reads and then I do full reads. I actually just added mini readings to my site because not everybody wants a full like hour-long reading. So I do mini readings, which is like half an hour. I do Reiki. I do distance Reiki, so you can book that through my site.
So Carly says, ask her if she needs her cards to read.
Oh, I don't. I don't need any tools in order to read. People
Okay.
do like to see them. People like to see the tools, the divination tools, like the cards, the charms, things like that.
Okay, so look at that. We have a couple more questions here. So, oh my gosh, Tasha, because she came in after, says, what is Reiki? So I know that you said it, but repeat it again because we got other people coming in, so that's good.
Sure. So Reiki is an energy healing modality. So it's taking the universal life force that flows within all things. Some people can call it, a God force or things like that. And you take it and you just harness it and you manipulate it in a way so that it goes towards whatever form of healing you need, be it physical, emotional, or spiritual.
And it works. Trust me. She's done Reiki on Ruby on her shoulder blade. She did Reiki on me not too long ago while I was live making a pain cream. And yeah, she could do it. I honestly, to be honest, I didn't think that was even a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing. You could actually do that like just virtually. That's just amazing. That just is insane, right? The power. So that's, I guess, Tamara's question. How does Reiki work over the internet?
So when you get attuned to Reiki, which is you have a Reiki master that they give you certain symbols, and each symbol is for something different. So there's one symbol, Hansha Sosha Nim, which that you use to connect with somebody remotely. You connect with their energy. So it's a Japanese symbol. So each symbol does different things. There's Chokure, which is a symbol for physical healing. There's Sahiki, which is the symbol for like mental and emotional healing. And then there's other symbols too that I'm not going to get into. So you use the different symbols to manipulate things in different ways, and that's how I do it. Is I connect remotely.
Confectionery Soaps is here, and she says she could see your passion in this. I'm telling you, girl, this is it. This is not to say to ditch everything else, but this is, I think, where you would double down if because you have an ability to do that. That sets you apart. Not say to give up on, but maybe put it more front and center, and maybe through that bring in then obviously the other things that you do. But because that will definitely set you apart from, I'm a soap maker, you're a soap maker. But you're a Reiki master, I'm not. But you're a psychic,
Right.
I'm not. But you're a medium, I'm not. So you know what I mean. You have so many different compartments there that you can definitely use it to your advantage.
Mhm.
Conventional Soap says absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I feel it. I really, and listen, I'm no psychic or medium or anything like that. But I swear, you are in your freaking element. I know Ruby's probably thinking it too. She tells me when I talk about certain things, you're in your element. You are in your freaking element. Welcome in DJT as well. So anything else, Amir, that you want to add to this? I mean, I didn't ask anything about the dynamics of course, your family. I don't know if your daughter is aware of what you do. I didn't ask those questions, so I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about that. Does your family support you with it? And things like that.
Yeah, I mean, my husband is just kind of like whatever. Like he doesn't really understand. He's like straight atheist basically. He doesn't really like necessarily believe in anything. My daughter does have a connection. She has had some experiences that I've had to help coach her through.
Wow. And she's
Yeah,
13, right?
she's 13.
So this is the age that you started, right?
Yeah, around this
That's
age with
pretty.
the stuff.
And so that's like story repeating itself. That is so
So
amazing.
she's so funny. She brought her Selenite Tower and Evil Eye with her to DC because I don't know if you heard, but the Annabelle doll has been touring and people are talking about bringing it to DC. And
Oh, I
she's
did
like,
not know
"Oh my
that.
God." So she's all
Oh.
freaked out about it. So she brought her spirits, because I give her these tools to help say like, you are protected and um
Carly says, smart girl. And Tamara says, I heard about that. I did not know the Annabelle doll is touring.
bad things have been happening, Liz.
Oh, God.
Bad things have been happening. They were warned not never to move that doll.
I am, that, I saw the movie. I mean, that's a freaky, freaky situation.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't mess with shit like that.
Carly says, put her back, put her back.
Yeah, put it back.
Mama Cat must have been tending to the kid and she goes, wait, what?
Why? I
You
don't
got everybody's
know.
attention now, Miriam. Not that they didn't before, but I'm just saying with the doll thing, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I may work with ghosts, but no thank you. Oh man.
Yeah, like I said, there's things that I don't play with. I don't mess with.
Wow, I did not know this, that she's touring. Incredible. I did see the movie. Now I can't remember. Where was she originated?
I
Was
don't
it?
know that much about it, to be
I don't
honest. I
know.
haven't seen the movie,
I don't
but
know.
like I know like a little bit about it. I know that it's a possessed doll and
Yeah, let me tell you something, man. If you have young kids, make sure that you know who you're leaving your kids with because I had someone babysit my kid. That someone had a kid as well, and I don't know how she didn't notice that her child and my child were watching Annabelle, and probably for a good 6 months, I had to sleep with my daughter in her bedroom when she
oh
was
my
crying
God.
for like 6 months. I swear, I could. It was hard. So do not let your kids, if you're their young kids, to watch that movie. I have the doll from the first movie. What? Confectionery soap says that
Kelly, what? What do you mean you have the doll? You bought an Annabelle doll? Guy at Walmart in Alabama said it was in that Walmart earlier that day. I don't know.
I don't know. Miriam, your prosperity oil is in my car.
Oh, I love that.
I need prosperity oil too. So is this prosperity oil? That's not what the oil. Obviously, that's not the scented. She's not talking about the scented stuff, right?
No, I can show you what it is real quick. Hold on. Let's go on another road trip.
Yeah, let's go on another road trip. See?
Oh, okay. Don't mind my pained gruntings as I move around. This will be edited out.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not gonna put. I do cut it. But
I am feeling much better though with this interview.
that is awesome. I'm so glad. This guys, you have no idea. We got 15 amazing people here. You have no idea what this means to me and to Miriam because the last one that we attempted was really difficult because it was just the entire live was echo and we couldn't get anything out of it. So I love that you
Right.
guys. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. For the taps, the shares, the likes, everything.
Okay, so this is my prosperity anointing oil.
Okay.
I don't know how you can see it, but there's crystals and herbs and oils in there that are to help increase your prosperity. So there's pyrite, there's green aventurine. To be honest, I don't remember exactly everything that I put in it, but there's a lot of things in there to help increase prosperity. So my friend Helen, she used it when she was going to buy a new car, and they got the deal of a lifetime on that car.
So do you have this on your website or do you make it personalized? Like if I say to you, Miriam, this is where I want the prosperity financially, because it could be different prosperity, right? Prosperity doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily.
I don't have them on the website at the moment. I don't have them mass made at the moment. I can do though, very easily. I'm not making a lot of products right now just because I have a lot of inventory I'm sitting on. But if
Yeah.
people are interested, I can make some. I make prosperity oils. I make protection oils. I make love oils. I make all different types of things.
That's awesome. And she makes Richard soaps as well.
I
And
make
Regina
Richard.
soaps, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. The
I make
Regina.
Richards and I make dinglings and I make the hoo-has as well.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, but hold on, because I know I saw some comments here. I think it was, wait, where was it that I saw this? I do the sales, it goes in the tips of my toes and on my hands. Okay, so I do sales and it goes on the tip of my toes, my shoes and my hands. That was Carly. And then Stephanie says, I want that oil. So connect with Miriam, make sure you're following her. And I don't know what's the best way to reach you. DM you on here on the app.
Yeah, you can message me on here. My email's on my website. You can reach out to me on the Book of Faces on Insta.
She'll
I'm
get
on
back
all-
to you right away. She's always, connected. And Evie says, I love this. I had no idea Miriam had all this knowledge. I'm so glad. And that's the purpose of these lives on Wednesdays. I know that, and it's growing. And I love the fact that it's growing to have people, to have the opportunity for people like Miriam to be heard, and now we got to know a little bit more about her, right? So we peeled another layer, right, of the onion for Miriam.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you doing this, Liz. Like, I'd love to interview you sometime we can pick one of my evenings if you'd like. I think that'd be really cool.
Unless you want to go like a whole session of crying. It depends on how light you want it. I don't have to go deep into my past. I could make it lighthearted. I've been wanting to be interviewed. Rush was supposed to, but
like you do. We can talk about what you want to talk about, and I'd be honored to do that with you.
Awesome, thank you so much. That would be cool. We could make that happen. Jennifer Lee says listening, have both babies. Totally understand, Jennifer Lee. I anoint my hands, my tops, my shoes. Let's see what else. Miriam is amazing. Carly says do it for me to interview. Sure. Like I said, I guess we could plan it out, right? I have more flexibility. I know that Miriam has a more tighter schedule because she works and stuff. So Miriam and I will discuss it, and I'll definitely let you guys know. Does anyone else have any questions for her? I really thank you so much, Miriam. And I don't know if you want to add anything before we go. Again, guys, welcome in, Leanne. Oh, man. And Cammie, you guys missed it. But for those of you who are just coming in, guys, thank you so much for the heart me. Please, guys, connect with me and on my bio. I will download this one. I'm going to try. I can't promise it's going to be today, but definitely, by the end of this week, today's Tuesday, I should have it between today and tomorrow. I don't think there's a lot of edits to be done. And definitely connect with her. Again, she is a handcrafter. She makes a lot of different body products. She is a Reiki. She is a psychic, a medium, and a minister, guys. And a full-time mom and wife, and has a full-time job.
Did you want to see my my Nona's coffee cup?
Yes.
My little altar?
Oh my God, yes, absolutely. So she's gonna take us where she, she was talking earlier about she does a ritual every morning with her ancestors. So we're gonna go check out the altar, which is pretty fascinating. Awesome.
I just have to move a couple things because my daughter was packing for her trip over here.
How long is she gonna be out there for?
Give me 1 second. Okay. And of course, my dog's over here now. Excuse me, doggy. All right, let me
talk later. We'll talk later, Ruby. So if anyone's interested, while she gets set up there, if anyone's interested, I know some people showed interest in Ruby's live. And by the way, this live is sponsored by, Ruby now is leaving, Rise with Purpose. So Ruby and I had a great conversation, and definitely Ruby's helping, especially these lives to shed the light, so if you have a story that you want to share, or business, or something that you want to share about your life, and you feel comfortable sharing it, by all means, please connect with me or with Ruby to make that happen. I would love to have you as a guest on my live. So
yeah, definitely.
Right. Go ahead, Miriam.
So this is my altar. This is my uncle who passed recently. This is a little miniature Torah in one of his prayer books.
Oh.
This is a little bell that I got. It's like a little Greek soldier.
Oh, wow.
This is my Nono's apple. He used to have like a bowl of like fake apples.
Oh, wow.
Down here, this is the coffee cup. Seriously, I'm sorry, my dog is right here.
He wants to be also, oh, look at him. He's going to drink that coffee.
Right.
Do you empty it out every morning and put a fresh one in there?
Yep. So that's my dad.
Oh, wow, Miriam. I'm trying to see if you look like your dad. That's your mom on the right-hand side? Is that your mom?
No, that's my dad's parents.
Okay. Oh,
so this is only people who have passed away.
I'm trying to see if your dad, if you look like your dad.
Yes, I do look a lot like my dad. Hold on. Let me pull it out so you can see.
Oh, I definitely see the eyes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You do look. I have not seen what your mom looks like, but for sure, I could see it right there. The eyes.
Yeah.
For sure, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So real quick, Confectionery Soaps is asking why coffee.
It's something that I remember these are my grandparents, the Holocaust survivors.
Oh, wow.
That's my Nona and my Nono.
Wow.
It's something that they all enjoyed and was, a ritual sort of for them as well. Mm-hmm. So this is her full Turkish coffee cup set.
Wow. That right there was probably, early 1900s, right?
Well, it had to have been like the 40s. Because
they definitely don't make things like that anymore.
No, it had to have been like the 40s or 50s because that was after they lost everything in the war. So
yeah.
And then this is one of her menorahs.
Wow.
And then that's one of her menorahs. That's a doll from Greece she brought me. This is a little Parthenon thing that she had in her house. There's an oil decanter thing. So I have a lot of stuff for
Wow.
my family in here. I've got more stuff down here, and
That's awesome. And then I'm sure, you will pass it on to your daughter, right? And
yeah,
it will be definitely within the family, a generational thing. That's awesome. That is
yep.
fantastic. I wish I had stuff like that. I have nothing of
And then
my ancestors, so that's awesome.
this is a broom that I made from a branch from the tree above where my father's buried.
Wow.
That actually was my mom's idea. We carried it all the way back from Detroit in our suitcase.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
a lot of family stuff. But
Yeah.
anyway, Liz, I
Okay.
really thank you for doing this.
Absolutely, Mira. So I will definitely. I just have a few orders that I have to take care of. I have to do deodorant, which I really don't like doing. But
Oh, girl, I know.
yeah, don't order, guys. Deodorant for me. Order from her, please. I don't want to make deodorant. She'll do the deodorant for you. Seriously, I'm not even joking. I'm gonna give deodorant business to you, Mira. When somebody sends me
I don't
deodorant,
love making it either. I mean, I like the business, but it's a pain in the ass to make and clean.
oh man, it's so awesome to get to know more about you. Isn't it awesome? So I'm so glad that you guys are saying that. Please, guys, show her support. Let me just say this. Guys. Miriam is a true supporter. I mean, she supports. She goes into Ruby's life. She goes into my life that I know of. She probably goes into much more than I know. She goes into what moves you when she's live. Evie when she's live. Jeff Slaughter. God, what's her name? Tria from Tria Frog Treats. I mean, the list goes on and on. Gen X Alternative. And when I go to her live, it really saddens me that I only see two people there. It's like, what the heck, man? Please show her support. I'm not saying that you have to stay for a full hour, but even like if you go in, pop in, say hello, give her the heart me, show her some love and even stay 10, 15 minutes. That means a lot, So please, guys, please show her the love because she does show it to a lot of people here. She's definitely a true supporter, guys. So I just
Thank
want to
you.
say that.
Thank you. And I think I am going to do my cooking live in a little bit. I'm going to be making
Yay!
my Nona's spinach pie recipe. I might also be making okra and rice. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to make the spinach pie.
What time is that happening? So I know.
A little one-ish. I just need to boil the potatoes real quick because
Okay.
that takes a while to do. So one-ish.
Okay, guys. So take note, like within an hour or less.
Yeah, about half an hour.
Okay, so Miriam's gonna go live, and she's gonna go live cooking. You guys, food. So definitely, please show her support, share it out, Miriam. And I'm honored, guys. For those of you who missed it or came in later, this will be on my tube. Go check it out, my link in bio. And then next week, we will have Shanna, Kelly's wife.
Oh, awesome!
Our guest for next week. I'm looking for more people, so please connect with me, guys.
Yeah,
Love
please
everyone.
do. Her interviews are amazing. I've loved every single one that you've done. You don't have to be like a handcrafter or have a business to be interviewed. You could just come on and tell your story.
Absolutely. We're here. We're like I said. This is our community. This is our family. This is a safe space. There's zero tolerance for any trolls or anything like that. So just you. This is a safe space. So,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Liz.
Girl. And I will see you in a half an hour.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Bye.